This is it, folks, the season finale for the inaugural 1UP Turbo Truck Series season, and boy have we got a good one for you today. 67 laps around the beautiful Homestead-Miami Speedway to decide a champion for this, our first season of competition. And, well, Ryan Griffin's got his destiny in his own hands. All he has to do is get a 23rd place finish in this race. If he can do that, or better it, he'll be the champion no matter what Zachary Billson can do to stop him. And we've got a lot of other storylines to take care of in this race besides that, but that's going to be the main one we're focusing on throughout the night. And alongside me in the booth for today's final race of the season is Duke and Zach as usual. And, well, this is pretty much all you could ask for a finale race. All sorts of fun stories to keep our eye on. A few people saying goodbye before moving up. And overall, just a really great race in store for us tonight.
You're absolutely right, and it couldn't be at a better venue. Homestead-Miami Speedway is such a fun little racetrack here, and it's great. You know, you got progressive banking in the corners, so you got the high side, the middle, the low side. You could dime into the corners. You could go in high and chop down low on the exit. There's so many different options for these drivers. It's a perfect place for the finale race, of course, that we have here. And Ryan Griffin, like you said, he needs to finish 23rd or higher. There's mathematically 3 people eligible for this championship. Realistically, only 2 eligible for this championship, Austin Runkle being the third. It would take an extraordinary situation for Austin Runkle to get the championship today. And, of course, if that happens, we will be all over it. But, yeah, Ryan Griffin's starting 18th right on that edge line. And you might think that that's a little bit nerve-wracking. But behind him starts Billson in 29th. So both of those two drivers have a lot of work to do today to try to get up there. But Zach Billson really needs to go up there and win this race today to give himself the best opportunity at possibly winning a championship.
Absolutely. It's going to be something worth keeping an eye on all night long. And now we can give you our final starting lineup of the season and a first career pole for Alexander Rowe in the 51. He leads us to the green tonight. Earl Sear lines up alongside him. And you're right, Ryan Griffin, he starts all the way back in the 18th position alongside Brandon Smith in the 71. But also in contention for a championship tonight is Kev Shearer in the 02 in starting 6th. He's racing for an owner's title, and all he has to do is finish ahead of Ryan Griffin to lock up the title. It's going to be for the owner's championship, I should say. It's going to be a lot of excitement to keep an eye on that, because Shearer has come close to winning so many times this season, especially last week at Rockingham. He came extra close that time. Could the night be the night to get that win and the owner's title?
It absolutely could be, and Kev Shearer, like you said, has just been absolutely stellar throughout the second half of this season. That 02 truck is bad fast, starting 6th today. He'll definitely be a contender by the end of the night. So I think that we've got a lot of people that are going to have really great races today. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch Ryan Griffin and Zachary Billson try to fight this thing out and see who gets it. And, of course, it's going to be fun to watch Kev Shearer try to get up there and get himself his first win, and along with that first win, an owner's title for that 02 truck. This is going to be a lot of fun today to watch, and I really am looking forward to it.
So with that being said, we have all 42 trucks lined up on the grid, and we are ready to bring you 67 laps of heart-pounding action from the Homestead-Miami Speedway. For the final time this season, this is the 1UP Turbo Truck Series. The green flag is moments away, so stay tuned, because the closing stages of the season are mere moments away. As Alexander Rowe and Earl Sear lead us onto the front straightaway for the final time in 2022, the green flag is out, and we're underway at Homestead for 67 laps, and Alexander Rowe gets a fantastic start off the line. He's going to have James Ellison to help push him off in the turn 1 from the pole, because the inside line is going to have a great advantage at the start of the run, but the top's going to come in at some point.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The shorter way around, especially in that first corner, is the way to go around here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. But now that they're all up to speed, you're going to see them all fan out into this corner, and there's going to be multiple options of where to go. Here we see that 3, the 8, and Kev Shearer way up at the top, all the way on the wall already. Here coming through turn 3 and 4 on the first lap of the race. So we're on lap 2 now, and everybody's fanned out, and we've got one heck of a race in store for it already. Multi-groove racing here through turns 1 and 2. But right now the leader is in that 51 truck, Rowe, right there leading the way.
And how about 3 wide in the midfield? Ryan Soper on the bottom of the racetrack. You see in that purple 84, the odd man out on the inside. But as we go off into turn 3 and 4 to complete lap number 2, Alexander Rowe has a pretty decent lead over Earl Sear and James Ellison, battling side by side for second to complete lap number 2. And Rowe, these are some important laps for him. He knows he'll be back with this team next year. Question is, which truck will he be in?
Yeah, you're right. So there's a little bit of security there, not a ton of security. Of course, he might not keep his current team that he has going into next season, but it sure would be a great first win for that 51 driver right now in this truck. But here we got a couple of teammates on the outside here, the Team Duke drivers of Earl Sear and Audrey Anzac on the outside lane. We have a move down on the bottom. That's going to break that draft up on the bottom lane and possibly give the outside lane a little bit of help. There's a little bit of a Talladega-style feel right now with everybody having fresh tires, and that's Earl Sear getting a huge push down the front straightaway, got a great run, ripping around the outside of the corner, and is now going for the lead on the outside lane.
Absolutely. Earl Sear is going to edge past Alexander Rowe to take the lead on lap number 4. You can see, and now Rain has help from her teammate, Jack Boswell, in the 38. Both of whom are not going to return to this team next year, but they've had solid years, both of them. But Earl Sear leads the lap ahead of Alexander Rowe, and he's got his teammate Audrey Anzac there to push. That is a great roster up at the front of the field, and Kev Shearer is back there giving a helping hand along with his teammate, Zach Rogers. So we got 2 pairs of teammates leading that outside line. Sear holds the lead, but for how much longer? Because Rowe is on a charge.
Yeah, you can see that outside lane really has been pretty organized. Oh, until right now, Kev Shearer going to the bottom of Audrey Anzac, and that's going to hurt that outside lane, allow Rowe to get up there, and they were almost 3 wide for a second, but a major run out of turn 4 for Earl Sear has allowed him to get clear of everybody else, and now they're still 3 wide for 3rd place at this point, and it's a lot of chaos up front here with all these guys fighting for position. We'll see how this works out, and we'll see what gives at some point. The race is so close, it's making me a little bit nervous about possibly getting an accident here. That could change things significantly in this race.
And the thing is, you don't want to use your stuff up too early, because we don't expect these trucks to hit pit road at any point in this race. It's only 67 laps, so you want to manage your stuff early on so you have something left to fight with at the end of the race. These guys are sure not racing like it, though. They're racing 110% all throughout the first 6.5 laps we've run here. But Earl Sear still holds the lead, and we've still got a fantastic side-by-side battle throughout the entirety of this field.
Yeah, you know, and it's a really intense situation right now that they're in. I wasn't expecting them to be so close to each other right now, and I don't know if the drivers were either. You know, usually it gets a little bit more spread out here at the 1.5 mile speedway, such as Homestead, but right now they're all right up tight with each other, almost a little bit like Las Vegas that we see the racing there. So I don't know, this is maybe more intense than everybody was expecting, which could possibly be why everybody's pushing so hard right now in this race. But the 2 Team Duke trucks have started to drive away. They've both gotten clear for the first 2 positions right now, and that outside lane is surging forward with more momentum at this point in the race.
So you can see now Sear has about a car length and a half over his teammate Audrey Anzac, and now they're bringing Zach Rogers with them in the 17 and Allison Rain in the 34. So the top of the racetrack seems to be the place you want to be. However, we do have a second lane in the middle of the track working nicely, headed by Alexander Rowe, the pole sitter. Seems like there hasn't been much movement among the lanes, but that would be a gross miscalculation, because these positions have been changing every lap, it seems, and you see Shearer and Brandon Smith to an extent at the back making a move to that 3rd lane, trying to see if they can get that going.
Yeah, I like that move from Kev Shearer. Try to wrap that bottom a little bit more. It looks like he's going to get by. Alexander Rowe almost got by. I think that he's clear now. He's not going to... He does jump up in front of him right there. So great move from Kev Shearer. He lost a couple of positions to that outside lane, but now he's leading the bottom lane, which is good. And the 17 has jumped to the outside of Audrey Anzac. So now we have a new person in the 2nd position on the outside lane, and that's going to change the dynamic of this. Now the teammates have been broken up front, and Earl Sear doesn't have that safety net in 2nd place anymore.
But will Earl Sear move to the middle lane to try and keep that string of his teammate helping him along alive? Doesn't look like he'll be able to do that because Rogers has a huge head of steam down the back straightaway. He has to come up and block it. But as we now make our way further back, you see James Ellison fighting for a spot, making our way further back to the field. There is Ryan Griffin, and he has not made much headway in this race. He's currently, oh gosh, he's not even close to being in the top 10 yet. He is just, no, he's fighting to stay inside the top 20. But honestly, he doesn't need to worry too much, although he has to realize who's on his inside. It's that 81 of Billson.
Yeah, these two are the championship contenders right now. They're riding side by side. And of course, if that 29 truck can see the 81, even if it's a few positions ahead, he'll be able to know that he's got the championship lead at the moment. But he can't let that 81 go by him and drive all the way up to the front right now, especially while he's struggling early in this race. So we'll see. We're going back to the front here where Kev Shearer has gotten to the bottom of Earl Sear. Audrey Anzac has fallen all the way back to outside the top 5. Not sure what happened there. Probably Kev Shearer made a move to go to the front. Kev Shearer has one of the fastest trucks on the track right now, I believe, as is typical of this 02 in the second half of this season. But right now he's fighting Earl Sear, who's sticking to that outside lane. He's been up there all day, and he's really making it work.
Yeah, but he's got no help down there, and that's going to cost him down the front straightaways. His teammate Rogers, whether he wants to or not, is helping that 3 truck back to the front. So Sear holds the lead. Shearer's got to hope that Alexander Rowe, his associate teammate, can get up there and help him push past this 3 car. Because I believe, as you see, Brandon Smith holds the fastest lap by 1/1000th over Brian Grigsby. But Kev Shearer really wants to get this win. He's been saying so all season long. The only thing missing from his repertoire is a race win, and wouldn't it be something to get it in the last race of the season?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That'd be totally stellar for him to get that win this season that he's come so close to with the rookie stripes still on the truck. And now he's made a move to the bottom and where he's been all day, and he's finally been able to get clear of Earl Sear. So now the 02 truck is the lone leader out there all by himself, leading this pack. So that inside lane finally prevailed, and Earl Sear has fallen down to second place. He's now side by side with Alexander Rowe. And the 3 truck on the outside is going to keep having that momentum, but the 02 is driving away.
Yeah, Kev Shearer, as soon as he gets that clean air on the nose of that truck, I think he can take off. Not too much, because this is very much a close race throughout the entire field, but this is about as far as he really needs to get out there, because as long as he can break the toe off that 3 truck, he'll be able to set sail to an extent for the rest of this race. But it's still early in this race. We still have about 50 laps left, and if Earl Sear can get back to his outside, that could spell trouble. So Kev really needs to block that top as much as he can. Maybe he can get his teammate to help him.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of the time when you're running kind of that middle lane, there's another lane out there, which is where Earl Sear has gone, and he is absolutely driven by the 02 to take the lead by using that extremely high entry. What a move from the 3 truck to completely clear the 02, even with some help from Alexander Rowe a little bit lower down the track, and Earl Sear has gone back to the lead now in turns 3 and 4, and we've got another big move farther in the back. That's the 34 on the outside as well. Man, the closer you can get to the wall, the faster you're going to be today here at Homestead.
And despite that move from Earl Sear, he still didn't lead that lap at the line because of that massive run Kev Shearer got with help from his teammate Zach Rogers. These two are the only ones from Kings Motorsports that will be back with the team next year. So, yeah, it'll be Shearer, Zach Rogers, Brandon Smith, Nelson Reeves. That is going to be a powerhouse next season. But we're still focused on the tail end of this year, as Robert Weaver swings to the very top of the track to make it 3 wide on Rain and Anzac.
Yeah, weaving between Rain and the wall right there is Robert Weaver in that 6 truck, and man, oh man, what a great move. So now that truck is going to be able to give a little bit of a push to Earl Sear, who's been lacking some help on that outside lane ever since that move. He kind of got stranded out there, so we'll see what happens if he's able to get up there. It looks like Kev Shearer kind of prefers the bottom at this moment. Maybe his truck is handling better down there. You might not get a pit stop today to adjust that, so that could prove to be hurtful to that truck later in the race. I think that as the run goes on, you're really going to want to be good on that outside lane because that's where it's good. That's where all the speed is going to be. All the grip is going to be up there towards the end of the run, just like this big move from Earl Sear on the outside lane again, just barely off the wall, inches away from it, going into the corner, and he's going to take the lead down the back straightaway.
Yeah, Earl Sears got a fast truck, but so does Kev Shearer. And I wouldn't count out some of the other guys in this top 10. Zach Rogers, Robert Weaver, Allison Rain, these are fast trucks as well. Anybody, honestly, in the top pack has got a good shot at this. And if you look on that inside line coming off of turn 4, Zachary Billson's making his way up to the front. He's knocking on the door of the top 10.
Wow, so Zachary Billson is really, you're right, making his way back towards the front in this race, and that's going to be troublesome possibly for Ryan Griffin, who absolutely is still struggling, mired back in the pack. He's going to have to start making some moves. Hopefully that truck is a long-run truck, because so far it has not been a short-run truck for him in this championship fight today. But that's all right, because we got a great battle up front. Kev Shearer has taken the lead once again, and he's starting to drive away with it. He's a few truck lengths ahead now of everybody else, so maybe he'll be able to keep it this time, but he keeps it on the bottom, kind of in the middle there.
Yeah, he wants his teammate to help him down there.
Yeah, you're right. So the teammate, let's see if 17 can jump up in front of the 3. He's far enough ahead right now. Let's see if they both stay on the bottom. I don't know why they would if they do.
Well, Shearer is going to stay down there. I think they're all going down there at the moment, just because the momentum's there. Except Robert Weaver, he's riding the wall in 3 and 4, trying to get outside of Allison Rain, and he does so. Move the 6 up into 4th place. But now Rogers is clear of Earl Sear for 2nd. We'll see if the Kings Motorsports duo can team up and drive away. As now, making our way further back, you see Zachary Billson. He's running just outside the top 10 and about 13th. That wouldn't be enough for Billson at this point. He needs to jump up into that top 3 and make a push for it. If he can finish in that top 2 or 3 and Griffin stays right where he is, this could be Billson's championship.
Yeah, this is absolutely a situation that Billson needs to take advantage of. If he's going to be the champion, he needs to go up there and grab it by the horns. And get up to the front, but it's not going to happen. Wow, there's a huge stack up in the middle of the pack.
Oh, I think there's an issue with Griffin's teammate Brian Grigsby in the 92. A huge issue. Looks like he's got a flat tire on that thing, because he is slowing dramatically. Oh, and he gets into the wall as well. Cisneros and Levi Forley, absolutely nowhere to go. They are going to lose touch with the pack, and that's going to ruin their days as well. But for Brian Grigsby, an absolutely devastating end to his season. It won't end his race, but it'll end his chances at victory. A heartbreak for one Fingai Saitomi Motorsports truck, while the other chases a championship.
Well, I'll tell you what, he did a great job to keep that thing going straight after hitting the wall, and especially with you have a flat tire going that fast around with all the force in the middle of the corner. That was a great job from that driver right there. And then thank goodness it happened while he was riding behind his teammate who's fighting for a championship today. Man, oh man, that could have been disastrous had it been the other way around. So right now the 92 truck going a lap down, but getting back out on the track to try to finish the day, despite a really, really tough situation right there.
Although, this might turn into a positive for Brian Grigsby at some point, because he'll be the fastest truck on the racetrack once he gets back out there. He'll have 25 lap pressure tires than everybody else. He should be able to make something happen. He probably won't be able to finish that well, but at least he'll put on a good show trying. But out in front now, you see Grigsby now exiting the pits, and Alejandro Cisneros and Levi Forley they really struggled with getting around him, and Jeremy Frey in the 39 to an extent. All 3 of them have now lost touch with the lead group. They're going to be struggling for the rest of the night as a result. It's a tough situation for those 3, but maybe a caution can bunch them back up enough, we'll see. But you see Grigsby now off of turn 4, he's back up to speed, and the field makes its way down the back straightaway.
Yeah, so during that whole situation, we lost some people up here in the front in the 17, going for the lead right now on the outside lane, but we lost Earl Sear. Audrey Anzac also nowhere to be found in this front group ever since she fell back, and then we're missing a couple other people as well. But yeah, these two, Kev Shearer right now and his teammate in the 17, they're both the class of the field at the moment. Ripping around the top is the 17. They're side by side for the lead and still driving away from Robert Weaver, who leads a long line of trucks who are following to try to catch these two.
And here's the thing about that: Robert Weaver is being followed by his teammate in the 72, Billy Kidd. There he is, but not for much longer. He's going down to the inside of the 6, trying to get the 3rd spot away. But Rogers at the line. He'll take the lead from Shearer, get a bonus point for himself, try and boost him up the order as much as he can. But these two teammates, they're going to keep running side by side, and that might allow the pack to close right back up.
Yeah, definitely. So these two running side by side, basically what happens is they punch a huge hole through the air. The trucks already punch a major hole through the air as it is, because they're like boxes sliding around this racetrack at 200 miles an hour. So they're punching a huge hole, and now they're side by side. The way that the draft works, it's just a ton of drag on those two trucks, allowing everybody else to catch back up. So we'll see if that's a big advantage that these guys behind have. But right now, everybody else is 2x2 as well. So the situation is evened a little bit, despite the fact that they're all behind and getting the draft. Kev Shearer has cleared now on the back straightaway for the lead, and he's going to keep it. So we'll see if they're able to catch up now that they've single filed out.
But one name you now see moved up into the top 10 is Zachary Billson, who's now getting around Bronson Minnick in the 91 to take over the 9th spot. So move Billson up a place. And he's going to be knocking on the door now of James Ellison and Francois Chastain in their side-by-side battle for 7th. Billson could be a serious contender by the time this is over. That's a very good truck. And Ryan Griffin should be careful here. He needs to start picking up some positions whenever he can, because Billson's getting a little too far ahead for his liking.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And that Billson truck is really dangerous right now for Ryan Griffin, who is still struggling mired back in this pack. But Billson has been driving up towards the front. He's got only a few more rows to pass. You see him right there on that outside lane. He's the last one in this group. Meanwhile, Robert Weaver, who has been putting on an absolute performance up front as soon as he got kind of into our picture here. He has been absolutely stellar on this long run, 32 laps into this race, and he is driving away from that 17 on the outside. So we'll see what he's able to do with Kev Shearer if he gets there.
Yeah, looking at our championship battle now, Billson runs 9th, Ryan Griffin 17th. That's not going to be enough, because Ryan Griffin's still within that margin of comfort for him. He needs to finish 23rd or better, and if he can do that, he'll be able to win this championship no problem. So Billson needs to hope for a further issue from this 29 to have any hope at all. But down the back straight away we go. We're about to take the halfway lap next time by, and Kev Shearer's led most of the way, but I wouldn't be surprised if any of these challengers behind him gave him a run for his money by the end of it.
Yeah, these two on the outside, they're going to start pushing really good, and they're going to get clear of that 17, so they're going to have clean air on both sides. So they're going to be drafting all the way around, and let's see, Robert Weaver on the outside now. He's going to get up beside the 02, possibly on the exit of the corner. I actually don't think he will. Nope, not close enough there, but man, he is ripping the outside so good right now. He's going to be right up there with him. Before long, this 6 truck is flying.
Yeah, Robert Weaver is going to be moving up to the Nitro National Series next year, so this is his last chance to get another truck win, and he's doing a pretty good job of it right now. His teammate on the inside, Billy Kidd, he is coming back to this truck next year, so we're looking forward to seeing what he can do with that. And Francois Chastain running 4th. He's got a good future ahead of him with New England Cruisers Racing. He's got a fast truck, and he's moving up into the podium places.
Yeah, Francois Chastain absolutely has a fast truck right now. He's kind of showed up into this party as of a few laps ago, and he is knocking on the door. He's in the top 3, looking for even more than just that. And look who's right behind him. That's Zach Billson right there, who's trying to fight for a championship today. Has just followed that one truck all the way up, and now is in the top 4 of this race right now as this whole outside lane drives straight past Kev Shearer, who has now lost the lead to Robert Weaver. So man, oh man, this is developing into quite an interesting little race here that we have up front with a couple new characters involved in this one.
But critically, while Zachary Billson was making his way up there, Ryan Griffin also has been making gains. He's now up to 13. So Billson needs to do a lot more than this if he's going to have any hope of winning a championship. And he still needs Ryan Griffin to falter at some point in this race, because Griffin's running too well for him right now. Billson needs something big to happen here. But he's running in 3rd right now, doing the absolute best he can do to control his own destiny. but it's Robert Weaver out front right now with Chastain and Billson in hot pursuit.
Yeah, and that's just the tough thing about Ryan Griffin. He had such a huge lead going into this race, so you're looking at the 81 truck, and he can go out there and have an absolutely perfect day and lead every single lap. And if Ryan Griffin has a solid day or even a little bit worse, he would still be the champion. So that's what Ryan Griffin is fighting for right now. He just needs to have a solid day, and you can start to see him a little bit in the picture right here back there in the 29 truck. His truck is starting to come in. We're about 40 laps into this race. It says 38, so it's perfect timing for him to finally have a little bit of speed in that truck to try to get up there and secure this his position, while the 81 is fighting for the lead and possibly for the win later on in this race.
And he makes a move to the outside now of...
Oh, he's in the wall!
Oh, Billson tank slaps the wall off of 4. That's going to be close for him. He's going to keep going on, no trouble, no harm, no foul. But that's got to alarm the crew at the King's Motorsports camp. They got to get on the radio to their driver. You can't afford to keep doing that if you're going to have any hope in this championship. You got to keep your eyes forward, focused, and determined. If you can do that, you'll have a good chance at it at the end of the day. You need to keep the truck in one piece.
Yeah, absolutely, but he is just pushing so hard to try to get by and get the lead so that he can control the pace of this race, and he's back up there towards the wall. It's good that he hasn't lost any of that confidence that he has right now, because that truck is bad fast, and he is up there fighting for it. So right now, Francois Chastain is leading the way in the middle lane, and he's got 2 lanes behind him trying to pass him, and especially Zach Billson in second place right now.
Looking back now, you see Ryan Griffin in that 29. There he is. He's right back just outside the top 10. He's running in 13th, battling with Carson Jefferson for that position. He's fine to finish right there. I'm sure he'd like to finish the season on a little better note than this, but as long as he's champion, I don't think he cares where he ends up.
Yeah, the only thing that worries me is that it's such a dangerous, precarious situation. We saw somebody have a problem right near him just earlier. If he was a little bit farther back, he would have been totally involved in that situation, but now he's driving through. He's stuck in the outside lane, so if there is a situation where if there's an issue...
Hate to interrupt, but we've got a lead change, and it's Zachary Billson going for the lead. This could be huge for his championship hopes. To lead a lap, get a bonus point for that. Give it to Zachary Billson. He leads at Homestead.
Wow, that's a great job from Zach Billson, and now the pressure is on Ryan Griffin, who's sitting a little bit farther back. He's been making some moves. He's been driving up through the field, but the pressure is absolutely on now, and I'm sure that he is very aware of who is leading this race right now.
Yeah, absolutely. He's up to 11th now. He's knocking on the door of James Ellison for 10th, but now he really wants Billy Kidd or Francois Chastain or even Jack Boswell back there. You see Bronson Minnick ride the wall up the racetrack. He wants them to get past this 81, prevent him from leading more laps of this race, because he can't afford much more. But Ryan Griffin now to the bottom of the racetrack. You see in the back of your shot, he's still in 11th. He's battling Ellison for 10th. This could be big as we're closing in on 20 to go.
Yeah, this is a really bad situation possibly for Ryan Griffin because of the fact that the 81 is leading the race. He absolutely has to start making some positions here and get himself into a little bit more of a clear situation. I'm just so worried about the fact that he's in that big group of trucks back there. He's on the bottom now, though, which is good. He's going to have more room if there is an issue up front to be able to avoid it. So
yeah, but he just lost another position to Audrey Anzac, so he's now back to 12th. He might make more time on top, but you're right. He's got much more of a safety net on the bottom. So it's a balance of risk versus reward for that 29. Honestly, like I said, he only needs to finish 23rd or better. He can afford to finish there, but I'm sure the race car driver in him wants to get better.
Yeah, and especially as this race is closing, I'm just watching this battle in the outside lane for 3rd place. They are getting really close to each other up there. The 91 has been sending it into the corner. The 17 is being held up a little bit by the 38 truck. And they're all kind of stacking into each other a little bit, and that's going to continue to happen throughout this race. So I absolutely would not rule out a caution in this race. That would change things a lot. And if there was a caution, I do not think that Ryan Griffin would want to be that far back in the pack. We'll see what happens, though. There might not be a yellow. And Kev Shearer is ripping the outside right now, trying to go by everybody and get those positions back that he lost. But so far, everybody that we've seen fall from the front to the back has not really been able to make it back up to the front, which is a fascinating dynamic. It's not really comers and goers. It's just comers and only goers. They're not coming and then going again. So this is a very interesting situation that we have here at Homestead. On lap 46 of 67, we're closing in on the end of this race.
And on this season, Zachary Billson's doing absolutely everything he can. He's doing everything he can do within his own power to win this race and this championship. But Ryan Griffin's doing just enough to hang on to it. As you see him back there, he's running in 13th, battling Allison Rain for 12th. There he is on the inside, pushing Robert Weaver, being pushed by Carson Jefferson. And look who's 2 cars behind him. His teammate, Brian Grigsby. He went a lap down earlier in this race, but like I said, he's the fastest truck on the track. He's unlapped himself from half the field already.
Yeah, he's driving up through there. So he's hoping that if there is a caution, it's going to come after he passes the leader, which I'm sure he will get up there and do. But he's going to have to be really careful right here as he's about to pass his championship contending, championship elect teammate right now. And he needs to get up there and get by him cleanly and possibly maybe pave the way a little bit for him. That would be great teamwork right there from Ryan Grigsby. We'll see. We'll see how this goes.
Yeah, Brian Grigsby really needs to get a move on here and to try and unlap himself. As we got a move for the lead, Billy Kidd to the outside of Billson. Doesn't look like it's going to be able to stick. Zach Rogers riding the wall off of 4 once again, trying to get by Jack Boswell. And how about Bronson Minnick in this 91? We haven't talked about him much all day. He's now into the podium places with 19 to go.
Yeah, Minnick has been fast, just slowly and steadily climbing up through the rankings. He's been part of this thing for a lot of it right now, and he is absolutely going to be a challenger. But nobody has been able to challenge Zach Billson since he's gotten the lead. He has just been steadily ahead of everybody. He's not pulling away. He's not really, driving away. But nobody has been able to get next to him and really challenge for that lead position. So he's really doing a good job up there right now, just maintaining where he is, maintaining that position and keeping the lead, keeping the pressure on the 29 truck.
Man, the pace has fallen off a lot, though, since the start of this race. These guys are running about 3 to 4 seconds a lap slower than they were around at the start of the race. These guys are clinging on to dear life right now for these final laps of this race. And here comes Brian Grigsby. He did get around Ryan Griffin cleanly, and he's now trying to unlap himself as Billy Kidd goes for the lead.
Yeah, Billy Kidd on the outside lane is looking really good, but the 92 on the bottom is absolutely flying. Look at him go around the bottom like these are golf carts that he's passing. So yeah, he's going to get around him and drive away. He doesn't have enough time, I don't think, to catch back up to everybody and gain more positions, but a great job from him to get by everybody, unlap himself, and give himself a shot in case there is a caution.
But the problem is, if he does get a caution, he's got enough laps on his tires now that he would have to come in too. So it would be a benefit for him to get back on the lead lap, and if he were to pit with everybody else, he might be able to salvage a decent day. Probably not going to be a race-winning move, but he'll be able to salvage something out of this race. And he's had a good season, 2 wins this year, and he's going to be a challenger in the championship next year with Ryan Griffin moving up. Yeah,
that's true. So he has salvaged his day just a little bit, as much as he possibly could there, without a yellow involved in this thing. But meanwhile, behind him now are the leaders, and they are fighting for the lead still. The 72 of Billy Kidd really running right up against the wall. They're probably telling this 81 driver to kind of keep it a little bit lower. Don't be too aggressive. You don't really need to at this moment in the race. You just need to keep that truck in one piece right now. But he doesn't have any help down there on the bottom, so he's...
Not even his teammates are going down there. Oh, I guess now they are. They're going to try... Well, except for Kev Shearer. He wants to win this race badly, of course. But Zach Rogers is playing the good team, and he's helping out. But I don't know if it's going to be enough, because here comes Billy Kidd with a push from Kev Shearer. They're going to try and make something happen as we're closing in on 10 to go.
Yeah, well, while we're looking at all this with the 81 leading the way, it really doesn't make a big difference right now. The 29 is sitting in 8th place, and he's been driving up through the field. So that is well within the margin of being enough to lock down that championship. Of course, he needs to finish in 23rd or higher, running in 8th place. Plenty enough for Ryan Griffin to possibly win this championship. However, Zach Billson's still fighting for it. Despite that fact, anything can happen in the last few laps of this race. So he is fighting on the bottom. He's doing a great job of keeping it down there and keeping it beside Billy Kidd, who has the preferred line right now around that outside. And we'll see if Kev Shearer is able to push the 72 out ahead of his teammate Zach Billson, and he does. So Kev Shearer now pushing on the outside lane, and it's going to possibly put the 81 down into 3rd place.
And here comes Ryan Griffin. He's gotten past Francois Chastain. He's gotten past James Ellison. He's working on Bronson Minnick. If he gets by the 91, he'll be up into the top 5 as we close in on 12 to go.
Man, and that truck is looking really good right now. That 29 running on the bottom, lower than we see pretty much anybody else in the field right now, and he is just on fire. I wonder if some of those tires rubbed off on him a little bit from his teammate driving by. That he must have gained a little bit of confidence seeing that. He's like, man, I didn't know that was possible here. Let me go and try it myself. That's an incredible drive from the 29 right now to drive back up to the front after having a struggle in the first half of the race.
Yeah, he's running 6th, and that's perfectly fine to wrap up a championship, even with Billson running ahead of him. But it's Kev Shearer who took the lead back from Billy Kidd and Billson to now, with 11 laps to go, be in prime position to get his first career win.
Yeah, so, you have to keep in mind right now that 29 also fighting for that owner's championship, so he really would like to get up there and beat Kev Shearer. But Kev Shearer, I'm not sure. I mean, with how close he has been, I'm not sure if he'll let anybody beat him in this race, even his teammate fighting for a championship, as we see that said teammate going to the outside of Billy Kidd now with a great move, a really close move as well, to try to get up there and get back into 2nd place.
Yeah, it looks like we're focused on Boswell. He hit the wall off before, but he keeps going. He's going to hang on to a spot in the top 10. No harm, no foul. But you see James Ellison and all that. He got back past Ryan Griffin, and Francois Chastain's making his way up as well. So Griffin could fall back to 8th, which is still fine. We've got 10 laps to go, coming to 9 to go. And to win the Owners' Championship, by the way, Ryan Griffin would have to outscore Kev Shearer by 15 points. So that's a bit too much to ask for Ryan Griffin, unless Kev Shearer has a big problem in the closing stages. We saw that with Brian Grigsby. It's very well possible. But we now have 9 laps to go from Homestead. Kev Shearer is looking set here. Except Billson, who's trying to get around him on the inside. It's a King's Motorsports 1-2-3 right now.
Yeah, you're right. King's Motorsports is absolutely putting on a performance right now. These 3 trucks are all doing very well in the first 3 positions at the moment. And yeah, we'll see what Zach Billson does. I'd bet you they're in the ear of Kev Shearer right now, and as we see the 91 drive by that 17 on the outside lane, but Kev Shearer, they're probably telling him that he's able to race Zach Billson right now. Kev Shearer probably very aware of the situation for the championship, the driver's championship that is, with the 29. But while the 29 is up there, it really doesn't make a huge difference for the 81, whether he's in the lead or not, as far as the championship is concerned. So Kev Shearer out there racing for a win right now. I'm sure that he's gotten the all clear to try to go and get it. But the 91 is going to give him a fight right now, who's coming on the outside lane, and he's got a huge run into the corner. Man, oh man.
He might have cooked it in way too hard, though, because here comes Billson back to the inside to try and take 2nd spot back. We've got 7 laps to go from Homestead to decide a race win and the season championship.
Yeah, this thing is really starting to heat up here. The 91 again on the outside lane, outside of Kev Shearer, who has gone to the bottom lane in front of his own teammate. And the 29 also farther back has made it to the outside lane, and he's starting to put a charge on. So watch him drive up through this pack. Meanwhile, the 91 going by the 02, going into turns 3 and 4.
2 drivers looking for their first career wins. Bronson Minnick, Kev Shearer off of turn 4 now to complete lap 61. We're coming to 6 laps to go from Homestead. Bronson Minnick to the lead.
Yep, so he's got the lead right now, and he has been followed by Zach Billson to the lead, but so he is part of this thing. Zach Billson, of course, has a fast truck. So does Kev Shearer. Francois Chastain has been involved in this thing all day as well. So he has got a fast truck. Everybody up here absolutely has a shot to win this thing, but Bronson Minnick right now is starting to drive away from everybody. A great drive from that 91 crew.
And here's Ryan Griffin in 5th place. Wow. Plenty enough for a title. He's making a move on Francois Chastain for 4th. Looks like he's going to get it off of turn 4. Bronson Minnick leads the field down the front straightaway. We got 5 more laps for a championship. Billson and Griffin both in the top 4.
Yeah, Ryan Griffin must have been saving that truck, and they must have told him that it's time to go because...
Oh, we got trouble on the racetrack. I see the yellow lights on. This could be a race to the checkered flag right here. Minnick trying to hold off Kev Shearer. This race has turned into one of great importance as Minnick tries to hold off Kev Shearer for the win. Coming off of turn 4, this could decide the race right here. Coming off of turn 4, Minnick's gonna lead him back to the caution flag, and this could be it.
Wow, so that was incredible. That ended up being possibly the last lap of this race, racing to the yellow flag, and it was close, but yeah, we got a bunch of trucks involved in an incident here, it looks like.
It doesn't look like it, though. They were just well off the pace. We're trying to see. I think there's one truck out of the race already. We're going to find out who it is in a moment, but this could very well be it. This could be Bronson Minnick's win. This could be Ryan Griffin's championship right here, but we're under caution for the first time. Coming to 3 laps to go. I don't see how they're going to get back green here.
No, neither do I. They need to allow everybody to pit, which I would assume nobody will here as because of the fact that this race is possibly going to end.
Now we can see which truck it was. It was Logan Jones in the 94 bringing out this caution, and his race ends early. We're going to find what happened to Logan in a moment, but this could be it for the 2022 Turbo Truck Series season. Right. So Logan Jones was running pretty deep in the field. He was well behind the main pack, running with Nick Breeding and Knox Hanley in the 7, sending it off in the turn 3. The engine lets go on him, and he gets slipped up in his own oil, and he just loses it. Off of 4. That is Logan Jones' season over. But man, he was fortunate a bunch of other trucks were not involved in that.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. That could have been a lot worse than it was.
So, that is what happened to bring out caution number 1, and it will be our only caution of this race, because unless the lights go out on the pace truck, this time, this race will be over. We'll have our winner, we'll have our champion, but the lights need to go out on the pace truck this time to continue this race.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So, Bronson Minnick, of course, is absolutely rooting for this race to be over. I'd say that Ryan Griffin probably is also rooting for that, but I'll tell you what, he was on an absolute charge at the end of this race. I think he wanted to go out there, try to win this thing, so maybe he wouldn't mind another lap, but definitely to secure the championship, it'd be better for him if the lights stayed on right here. We're about to get confirmation, and they have stayed on. So this race is going to come to a close. Bronson Minnick leading the way with only 2 laps remaining.
And what a symbolic way to end this season, honestly. Bronson Minnick, he wasn't even supposed to be in this truck this season. This ride was initially belonged to Jimmy Hogan, a phenomenal up-and-coming talent. He scored top 5s in half of his 4 races. We lost him, sadly, earlier this year in a tragedy that befell the New England Cruisers Racing Team. But boy, this is going to make it all better for that team. Bronson Minnick going to bring them their first win for that 91 team, and boy, will they have earned it.
Yeah, absolutely. A stellar season for that team to come back from such a sad loss, and just a situation where this team is fast. The truck is fast, and of course they've gotten the right driver right here to wheel this truck around and always put on a show. I mean, this 91 is involved in the fight for the win more often than not. So to get the first win here without assuming there's no issue in the final lap as we watch here, them roll around under caution.
We have seen that before. We have seen issues befall the leader. Remember Rasha Mahendra in the National Series at Las Vegas. Who could ever forget that? But Bronson Minnick is hoping everything stays together for 1.5 more miles as the white flag is displayed over the field.
Yeah, you got to keep that truck running. You got to keep your foot a little bit in the gas, I guess. You got to just drive it. I mean, like you're driving on the highway here. Just make sure You don't do anything too crazy, no shifting, no, nothing crazy like that. So hopefully he makes it around here and everybody else as well. But yeah, he if he does make it around, he will be the winner. And then the winner of the championship, if they make it around here, will be Ryan Griffin. A stellar performance at the end of the race to finish in 4th place. Zach Billson did also a great job of driving all day today, and he's gotten up to 2nd place in this one. And it looks like that's where he's going to finish. But a stellar job from everybody involved. Great drive from all those drivers.
And man, and these two put on such a good performance all season long. Ryan Griffin gets 3 wins this season. No one else has gotten more. Zachary Billson got that first win at IRP, and he was so consistent all season long. Either one would have been a deserving champion. But as we come through 3 and 4 for the final time in the 2022 season, unfortunately, it will be behind the pace truck. But what a season we have had so far. We've had so many different magical moments in the 2022 season, and this is going to be another one for Bronson Minnick. It looks like he is going to hang on for just about a few hundred more feet as they come off turn 4 very slowly for the final time. Hats off to New England Cruisers Racing. They got both trucks in the top 5. Bronson Minnick's going to see he sees the checkered flag in the flagman's hand. And for his first career win in the 1-Up Turbo Truck Series, Bronson Minnick takes it at Homestead-Miami Speedway. A fantastic drive and a great tribute to a great man in Jimmy Hogan. I'm sure this will be a great moment for that team. But coming home in 4th place, he did everything right, made sure everything was perfect. Ryan Griffin has come through from behind to win the first ever 1-Up Turbo Truck Series Championship. And boy, you couldn't have found a better person to give it to. What a deserving title for this 29 group. Ryan Griffin is your champion.
Yeah, Ryan Griffin absolutely showed up this season. He was somebody that you could never count out of a race, and he has totally deserved to win this championship here, and he proved it exactly why he is the championship here today. He ran poorly in the beginning of this race. He was struggling. He was back towards 20th place, even farther back than he qualified. And he somehow, in the second half of this race, turned it on, figured that thing out, and drove it all the way up to the front. And with if those last couple laps were under the green flag, I think that he would have absolutely had a shot at winning this race. So a great job from the 29. That's what he's been doing all year. And a great job to that whole team to get him this championship. And I'm sure that the celebration will include some pizza and be a very, very great night. Well into the night is Ryan Griffin going to be celebrating, I believe.
And a huge congratulations to Kev Shearer as well. He didn't get the win, but he did what he needed to do for the O2 Kings Motorsports team. They are your owners' champions at the end of a hard-fought season. And Ryan Griffin said before this race, if that O2 had run the full season, he feels like that would have been his main contention for this championship. And I would be hard-pressed to disagree. Kev Shearer is going to be an absolute force to be reckoned with next year. But, and I have to say the same thing for Ryan Griffin. He's going to the Nitro National Series next year. Who's to say he won't do it again up there?
Yeah, you're right. They're going to be dangerous. The next season, we've got a lot of great drivers returning. Great new drivers as well are going to be involved as we see some action on pit road here in the final race. But yeah, this series is absolutely great. It's a launch pad for a lot of great drivers. We see some amazing talent in this series and have seen all year. Kev Shearer, Ryan Griffin, just to name a few. So this has been an absolutely stellar season, and I am so excited to see what's in store for the next as we close out this one.
So from Duke and Zach and from myself as well, thank you so much for watching this inaugural season of the 1-Up Turbo Truck Series. It's been an absolute blast. We'll see you again in March. Mark your calendars for the first race of the 2023 1-Up Turbo Truck Series season at Daytona International Speedway. Look forward to that one as much as we are. It's going to be an absolute blast. So long from 2022 and from Homestead. We've made a lot of great memories along the way. But a huge congratulations to Bronson Minnick on his first career win and Ryan Griffin on capturing the ultimate prize, the 2022 1-Up Turbo Truck Series Championship.